things like this, all sorts of weird stuff. Who knows? I'm sure some of you can dig deeper on that. In fact, if you want to, and then call in and see what you find, love to hear about it. What happened to that police department that made it so bad, right? It says, before its police reforms, Camden was routinely named one of the most violent cities in the U.S. Now, 7 years after the old department was booted, though around 100 officers were rehired, the city's crime has dropped by close to half. Officers host outdoor parties for residents and knock on doors to introduce themselves. Hello, I'm Officer Dan. Nice yard. It says, and this is okay. And then it says, it's a radically different Camden than it was even a decade ago. Here's how they did it. It says a city's decision to dissolve its police department and break it apart is often a matter of money. And the cities that choose to do so are often quite small. It says Camden comes closest to Minneapolis in its size and history of misconduct. So they've got some sort of history in that prior police department. It says earlier this year, the village of Deposit, New York, literally it's called a deposit, New York, it kind of like it was just put there, right? Dissolved its department because of a cost of $200,000 per year. Now a single sheriff deputy is assigned to the village. Whoa. So a single sheriff, like Steve, is your police officer. It's kind of like the mind of it. It would be like people running people. But that's not what's going to happen, is it? I don't think so. I think there's something getting, I don't know where they're heading with this. It says, again, earlier this year, now a single sheriff deputy is assigned to the village. CNN affiliate Wix reported Garden City, Missouri laid off all of its officers and suspended the police chief because, as its mayor said in 2018, the city couldn't afford to keep them employed. In a bizarre move, Rio Vista police leadership abruptly left the department and half of the remaining officers left for other jobs. So the California City Department could no longer go on. Now, this is in California. That's actually pretty nuts. Hold on here. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if you can hear that buzzing. What the heck is that? Dex, what do you think about this this whole disbanding thing? As far as do you think that they could do it in a major city or no?
I don't know how they would pull that off. I guess they if they did some sort of overlap where they created a new organization in advance of disbanding and then allowed that organization to start hiring and then have a cutoff date where one group leaves and another group takes over. But just just this act of disbanding and the headlines that are being driven to everybody about, let's go to lawlessness, or let's have no police so that we can, we don't have anything to worry about when it comes to police. That just seems wrong. It's wrong in many ways because there's so much more that happens here than just these these small negative things that are major, but they're not. They're only a fraction of what is part of the whole picture.
Exactly. It just doesn't seem like we're not seeing something here. All across the country, they're saying they don't want any more police. I don't understand it. I really don't. I get why they're angry, but is this a rational decision? That's what I'm asking you guys. If it is, please tell me. Let me know. Let me know how. Again, try to not base it off of what you've seen in the last month of television or online. Like I said before, my sister, the one that doesn't watch the show, luckily, she said, "I don't need the news." I said, "You're saying what the news is saying," and she goes, "I don't watch the news. I don't even have time for, CNN or Fox or any of those. I don't watch the news. That's not from the news. I'm not angry because of the news." But yet, this same person is all the time on Facebook, on YouTube, on all of this. That's where they're getting people. That's where they're pushing different things. And here's the only thing I'm saying is big companies are literally attaching themselves to all the movements, really. If you look at it, they're putting ads out, so they're actually spending money and having experts think of the best way to move their product with the current horrible situation going on. Are you offended by that? Even the people that say, well, that's awesome, they're supporting, but how are they doing it, and are they making money because of it? Are they actually profiting from a horrible situation, from somebody perishing or somebody that's passing away? That's all I'm saying. And as far as the whole thing, the recommended, obviously some of the systems are broken. If they're basing it on what you want to see, all of them are really just totally angled towards what you personally watch, right? If you're on YouTube, if you say something like, oh man, that's a cool camera, all of a sudden cameras are all over your feed. Or if you say, I want a cool Kawasaki motorbike or something, and all of a sudden there's videos like how to buy Kawasaki motorcycles. The ads are targeted directly towards you because of what you've searched before. But when, who was searching this a month ago? How many people search it every single day? None of these people that are jumping up and angry about all this stuff, they see 8 videos in a row, all without context. And I understand, yes, that is the problem. But again, are those things being targeted and forced down you so you are essentially getting behind this major thing that essentially was pushed out by big companies and by platforms? These things were not accidentally, they didn't accidentally go viral. The one or two probably did. But again, all of the others, all of the things that kind of supported and just pushed people right over the edge, because 1 or 2 videos or 1 or 2 things wouldn't have pushed people over the edge, but hundreds or dozens in the same day, that would. And you see like Now This News and all these things, they just basically, they're searching anything. They found something from 3 years ago and posted it and said, this is one person punching another of this color and that color. I don't even get into it. Again, these are things that are getting put out, and it's very saturated right now. When 2 months ago it didn't. If you really think about it, the whole man and woman in the park. This is something that the whole world would be going crazy about. It happens all the time. Sadly, this is happening all the time. All I'm saying is, where are these people the rest of the minute? But first, it says, what you need to know about the plans to defund Minneapolis police. It says, defunding or dismantling the Minneapolis Police Department has become a cohesive cry from protesters since the death of Mr. Floyd under the knee of a city officer 2 weeks ago. On Sunday, 9 Minneapolis City Council members told a crowd that they were prepared to, quote, begin the process of dismantling the Minneapolis Police Department. So just saying, we don't have a police department anymore. We've got something else. It says a day before, Mayor Jacob Frey was unwilling to support defunding and was jeered by a crowd for saying favored reforms. Here are some answers to questions about the future of policing in Minneapolis. So let me try to skip through this and try to find some of the meat of this. It says dismantling implies abolition of the current structure. Defunding refers to shaving the budget, right? Behind both is an idea of, and is dismantling different from defunding? Yes. Cutting the budget or actually separating and dismantling it out. It says, will there be police on the streets of Minneapolis this summer? Yes, the council for now has 9 members agreeing on the concept of dismantling, so slowly taking it apart, but there are no agreements on the details or a plan of action for next steps. It says, what is the Minneapolis Police Department budget? $193 million in 2020, with 892 sworn officers and 175 civilian employees. Can the council defund the police and stop paying them? Not entirely. It says the council must follow the city charter, which requires a funding of, quote, a police force of at least 0.00017 employees per resident and provide for those employees compensation, for which purpose it may tax the taxable property in the city up to 0.3% of its value annually. So, Dex, if you're there, what is the whole thing? This kind of ties into money and tax write-offs, right? I mean, like, in some way, there's kind of a thing here that people are have noticed before, that that there's kind of a tax write-off for cities and stuff like this for police. And
well, hey, Adam, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the tax write-off. I'm sure there's...
Restream said was happening. So I don't know if that's because of somebody above them when you talk about certain things. I don't know. It says end times again, says D-Live crashed. Now it's back. Proby, I had an end time dream the other night. Aliens, earthquakes, and the sky split like a scroll. I think everything has finally gotten to me. Crazy times indeed. So much weird. Prayers for us all. I never have dreams, or at least I haven't for years, and then the dreams came back. I had apocalyptic dreams when I was in my before I was 18 to about 21. And then from 21 to like 27 or something, I didn't have any. Probably because I was obviously over 21, and when you drink alcohol or put anything kind of negative into your system, I think it kills your natural brain system. But then I noticed now it's been years now. I don't want to say a decade, probably 7 years that I haven't drank. I have dreams relatively often. But just this last week, after probably a year of having one a month or one every 2 months, I've been having dreams like every time I go to sleep. I've had sleep paralysis. Have you guys ever had that where you fall asleep and you wake up and your brain's awake and you kind of... It's really weird if you sit up before your brain is actually awake and it doesn't even tell your body. I've never had this happen. Just the other day, I woke up and all of my... I think I told you about this, Dex. All of my limbs were asleep. I've never had that. I've freaked out. Have you ever freaked out when you wake up and your arm literally looks like something out of a goofy movie, like out of a Jim Carrey movie where your arms are just jelly? That was it with everything. So when I sat up, it was like I was a flopping fish. Now that sounds funny, and if anybody caught that, it would have been super funny. But it was one of the scariest things ever because I'm also having all this health stuff, and I'm thinking, gosh, did my heart stop pumping in my sleep? And how would all of your limbs go to sleep? Well, a lot of people have been having these weird dreams. Or if you've ever woken up and you're sitting there and you can see the room you're in and you're like, wake up, please, get up. And you're trapped in your own body. It's horrifying. It's really scary when you're actually present, like you cannot wake up and you're telling yourself to wake up. These kind of scary things, I've gotten so many emails about other people getting this, and I wonder if there's like some sort of weird frequency out there that's making us all do this. See, the thing is everybody's grounded in this real world, right? Yet all of the crazy stuff that we discover every day doesn't get into us. And then, of course, with dreams and things like that, but at the same time, there's something else going on with everything. Personally, I think that a lot of people are kind of too grounded. They don't have any spirituality, anything like that, but again, there's something funky going on, and I think we all feel it, and you just know. If you don't feel it, you don't know. If you do, you do. Everybody knows something big is coming, and it's bigger than this. Nobody expected this, and this is huge. But people adapt. When it happens, we just kind of deal with it, and we forget about it. Just like a death or a funeral. You're sad for a while, and then it just kind of fades away. With time heals all, right? Well, everything that's happening right now is going in a really crazy direction. So that's to say the least. Kahaja says, now no picture but sound. Well, thank you, and I apologize about that. Failed sec. Here is a diamond for the internet gods. Okay, a sacrifice for the stream gods. That is awesome. Thank you. It says, I have the same EMP dream about 4 times a year. Dixie Doe, that's something that I have too, is the same dream. And it's like an exact repeat. And it's so crazy because you don't remember that dream, and you've had it 5 years ago, and you can now remember it all the way through. Kahaja Flaggirl says, so, not again. Kahaja says, what? Thomas the Fam, Fairy Spirit, 2112, Chance Paladin, Courtney Miller, Jeff B, Greatest Love, Global Impact, thank you for being here tonight. Jay Beal, and Chicky R says Marfoogle News. Well, thank you guys. Open House Texas, thank you for the super chat, says Deep State exposed Bush and Powell endorsing Biden. So I believe I saw an article or two about that. And I saw one of my friends covering that on their channel. Doc Bill from Canada, thank you so much. I appreciate that. End times are here. I appreciate that again. Mr. Batman, Green Arrow on Bullseye. probably talking about how we were fading out. Jay Cobb, thank you so much for super chatting. I appreciate that. And then Patricia Ray, NASA, Musk, and Cruise will make movie in space ISS. NASA, Musk, and Cruise. Tom Cruise will make a movie in space. So they're making an ISS movie with Elon Musk?
Oh, I think I heard that Tom is involved in a movie and they're hiring SpaceX to get them up into space as part of the filming so that they can film in space.
That is wild. Again, guys, this is a live show, so anything can happen, like the scroller across my face.
Okay, you got that. Thank you. Just making sure you know.
Has it been like that for long, or?
I don't know. It just happened. It wasn't that way the whole show. It just happened, and somebody told me.
Okay, good. I noticed it. It was going across my face, so there's a lot of friction of the letters against the forehead. So, Chaos, thank you for pledging on Patreon just now. Megan, thank you for pledging on Patreon as well. Tyler Baker, thank you for subscribing. Jen W, as you as well. Welcome to the Foogle fam. Christine Van Hoos, thank you for this week for pledging on Patreon. And Patricia, thank you for pledging 4 days ago on Patreon. Grim Days, Leo Smith, Rosemary Theard, Soviet 305, Michael Sherrar, Adam Nelson, and John T.I. Thank you. And Sandra Helmick, thank you for subscribing just now. I appreciate that. We've been growing again slightly, but we were at 117 for a really long time, 117,000. If you're just joining us, remember we also have Marfoogle News at 155,000 subscribers, 118,000 at Marfoogle TV, and then 20 plus thousand, almost 21,000 over on DLive. We didn't hit 21, I don't think, but I know we're getting close. Okay, I'm gonna fly through some of these and get to the really juicy ones here. What do you guys think about this? Give us a call at 224-400-MARF. The number is right down below. The MARF stands for 6273, just in case. That's, again, 224-400-6273. Now, it says, bloody pig's head left on a spike outside of Los Angeles Police Station as the GF protests continue. It says a pig head was left on a spike outside of the police station in Los Angeles as protests against police brutality continue throughout the U.S. and world. That's pretty gross. It says the skull was discovered outside the LAPD's Rampart Station on Saturday afternoon. Well, they definitely got their point across. That's wild. Like, we are living in wild, wild times. And then that's where it was placed. Almost like they set down their hiking stick. Oh, gotta catch the bus. They won't let it on, so I'll just leave it here. But I think, for some reason, I think that was on purpose. Maybe, I don't know. It's not often, but I'm sure people walk around with pig heads all the time, right? No. Maybe in Hawaii, I guess you can't. I guess you do eat that part, don't you? Either way, if you guys haven't joined our Discord, there's 50 state groups broken into different zones. There's also groups created all around the country. What Discord is a way to communicate with others. We did have some issues there. We thought that they were getting rid of people just randomly. I won't go into too much detail, but again, there was people that were part of a big group that they are actually, I think the government is taking out some of them. And then anybody who was at all associated with that group were taken out. So a few people that were in our group happened to be in that group as well. It wasn't a bad group or anything. It was just they dissolved that thing, and then they went to anybody that was in that group. So there's some weird stuff going on, and we'll talk about that. I'll talk about it possibly on... I will possibly talk about that on our DLive show. It's pretty weird, that for sure. But the good news is I don't think they were directly censoring anybody. It was more of a direct action to a direct action, but it's not good either way. But as far as Discord, this has been extremely useful for people to meet up in states and actually get to know. each other and actually do meetings, talk about prep, talk about all sorts of things. The groups stopped meeting for a minute, but then they got back together. A lot of our groups, we've had meetings as big as 155, I think was the biggest one. Most of them consist about anywhere from 10 to 20 people that meet up. They'll meet up at a restaurant or a park, and they'll talk, whatever. They'll talk about the show. They'll talk about recent events and things like this. It's people that won't think you're crazy because you think of something outside the narrative. That's mainly what it started as, and it's actually grown a lot. 15,000 people, almost 16, and these are amazing people. And then amazing people that mod that. Just to give you guys shout-outs, the mods, I know we've got Miss Clan Mama is like literally still taking a break. She did months and months of stuff on there. We have got several mods on there that I will actually be kind of reading them off to. They've done a lot of work. We can't control all of it all the time because it's a lot of people, and they do an amazing job of keeping the peace and, making tough decisions, because really we're trying to have a positive place for you guys to be. Marfooglenews.com, again, there's an exclusive military channel with former and current military, and then, of course, the Creators Corner for YouTube, DLive, or any kind of creator that wants to get in there. Again, it's a great place. NPC Show is over 40,000 subscribers. He started off there in just a few months. He's gotten up to that. He's done an amazing job himself. He keeps pumping out videos. And then Homegrown USA, one of the channels that started after we started this, around 13,000. So you've got some bigger channels in there. Go to marfooglenews.com. They're small creators just like us that will kind of help you with what's going on. All right, and then we've got New York City to paint Black Lives Matter on prominent streets in all 5 boroughs. So New York City will have these things visible from space, I believe, on most of them, kind of like what the other city did. It says Mayor Bill de Blasio announced Tuesday that New York City will paint the B, L, and the M on prominent streets in all 5 boroughs. The message will be painted first on a street near City Hall and then other locations in other boroughs in the days to come. So, again, this is a proposal, and it is going to be basically a big chunk in all 5 of the spots in New York, kind of the 5 big neighborhoods. And then we've got Citrus Heights homes displaying American flags targeted by arsonists. This is pretty crazy to think is happening here. I think there's a lot of argument about why people like it. I don't understand. I get people are angry, but I guess I don't. And kind of the appreciation for where we are. The flag is pretty sacred. I have a good amount of military in the family, and if you have military in the family, that's something that a lot of people have died to kind of put that there. So I understand it's not a perfect system. In fact, I know it's a horrible system in some ways. But again, I just feel like, why this? Why? I don't understand it. There could be people in those homes. I think that any reasonable person would not agree with this, especially at a home. Like, I could possibly even see them, if somebody like spray painted it or did something like that on a business. I'm not saying that that's a great thing, but I'm saying I could see that. Or even, lighting a shack that doesn't have anything or something that's not around things, but lighting somebody's house on fire? That's horrendous. I mean, I thought it was a crime to do that to a flag. I guess, but whatever. I know that some people are like, yeah, well, America this, America that. I'm just saying, I guess it's to make a point, and it's the same kind of reverse thing as like, putting something burning anywhere. It's usually not around good, peaceful relations. Just say that. What do you guys think about it? Put it in the chat. Adam, Dex, and Mod Squad, many thanks and much love. Hashtag Team Humanity. Hashtag Foogle Strong. Thank you, Susan Donahue, and thank you for being here every single show. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being amazing. You and a few other people here that just have absolutely been at every show. I don't, again, for some of the people that do support us, I appreciate it. Also, please, make sure to just be here either way. And thank you guys for all of your support with everything. Thank you for the names that have been here every single show, no matter what. I'm trying to figure out a way to get all those names. The people that have perfect attendance, that literally doesn't matter if we go on at 1 a.m. or 4 p.m., you guys are here. Absolutely amazing. Mosquitoes and butterflies type of life. Thank you. I appreciate that. You can always write a message or say hello to somebody. Open House, Texas. Again, I appreciate that. So I wonder how this is going over here. Thank you, Marf, Dex, and fam. Lady GT476 over on DLive. Enchanted by You. PMC 2020. Thank you as well. Enchanted by You. Dixie Doe, I Smile for You. NCF Wife. Chicago Artist. Hempin Ain't Easy. Manny P. We've got Paul Shaggy, Lady GT476 again. Thank you. Varb777. Kazal. Peggy Sue Ferry. And I Love Beagles, Miss Jackson, and Jaybird, Mindy's Mom, Chekawa, Thomas the Fam, and Melody. I am going to pop open the regular restream. Yori, Matthew Ainsworth, folks in the chat, thank you for being here. We've got Gene Awake, Daduke, I think it's Daduke. Thank you for being here. Jen Ewing, Rock, Danis, Really Brandy, Nothing New Under the Sun, Dirt Worshipper Son, Smoky Mountain Gal, John 316, Tommy Bird, Evan Prothrow, and Johnny Bones. Thank you guys for all being here. Sly the Coffee, thank you for the Ninjagini. Says, how's at Gone Girl? I want to say if I see their screen name on either one, it's either Archives the Truth or Gone Girl. If she's not here, then she is unfortunately not, I shouldn't say that. She's not with us. No, I think she's doing okay from what I heard, but she still needs prayers. Shannon M. 1974, Girl, Laura Griffith, CJ Blaze, Australian Patriot, Laura Rurik. Remember, if you end up chatting, you might actually end up on the show. And again, any of you guys that do that, if I do miss any kind of super chat or DLive donation, that it will be going on the screen. You guys will get recognition on the next show. Big Bear, keep that in mind. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Miss Jackson and Just a Cat Mom, Lee 1. All right, so obviously that's dangerous. I don't know who's doing that. I don't know if the news is pushing something that's not really happening as much as it is. Or if it's happening more than they're saying. I don't know. Beyond deranged, commentators across political spectrum condemn T-Man's claim elderly man attacked by police is Antita. Antita. I'm going to call it Antita for now. Or Aunt Ida. Or Aunt Ifa. Again, this gentleman, a lot of people pissed off. I don't know. I think that even T-Man, I think the guy lost his balance on top of being pushed. And this is, I don't know why the president said that. He's going to get crap for a long time over that. Because there's pretty much no doubt that that was pretty painful and that guy was messed up. My personal opinion is he just, shouldn't have used that one. But why are they using this one again? He said that even the president said that he had some sort of scanner trying to mess up something. So I thought that was kind of crazy. Trying to jam something or had a scanner or something. I saw that tweet and I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy he said that. But who knows? Maybe he's got information we don't. I don't know. But as far as this gentleman, I feel bad for everybody. The woman with the horse, the woman with the car. I mean, how many of these videos have we seen in the last couple weeks? It's just really horrible. These officers are both just gone. They're done on the police force. I think the third one might be too. And what's weird to me is that they would do this when the BBC guy is right there. It just doesn't make sense. You guys are being watched do something like that. It almost seems like this guy came up behind him and made the front guy push him, and then the front guy tried to go check, and you could tell people were like, "Don't keep going." So he was concerned about the guy. Didn't push him as hard as it looks like he kind of he pushed him, but he didn't like throw him. He did a smaller one, but then on top of that, the gentleman's very frail, so he flew right back and then ended up being severely injured. So it was nothing anybody ever liked to watch. You could tell he's just incredibly frail. The president says that he actually went into it, like threw himself back. Well, if he did, he really messed himself up because that was pretty bad. But as far as these guys are gone, they're off the force, I believe. Or I don't think they're suspended. I think they're gone. So their careers are done. And I think the guy behind him, this guy and the guy behind him, I don't know why they couldn't just go like this. Again, with the thing, with the woman and standing in front of her store, she was like 80 pounds. They could have just moved that person. That person wasn't fighting. This person wasn't fighting. 80 pounds. Just move them to the side. Even use your, stick or whatever and just go like this. Literally just walk right by him. But I don't know. I'm sure everybody has a different view on that. Pretty rough. Chicago suffers deadliest day in 60 years with 18 murders in 24 hours. That is a lot in a day. A single day, day and night, 18. It says the city of Chicago notched a grim milestone last weekend as 18 people were taken out on Sunday, May 31st, alone, marking the deadliest day in the city since 1961. It says the University of Chicago Crime Lab's numbers do not go back further than 1961, so it's impossible to say how long it's been, if ever, since so many people were taken out in the city in a 24-hour stretch. So, Chicago Sun-Times describes some of the victims. A hardworking father killed just before 1 a.m. A High-Side high school student just got taken out 2 hours later. A man killed along Southside looting at a cell phone store at 12:30 p.m. I don't know if that's in chronological order because that was 1 a.m., so 3 a.m., high school student. Why is a high school student at 3 a.m. out, I guess? I don't know. A man killed amid Southside looting at a cell phone store at 12:30 p.m. So before that, a college freshman, 85, were wounded by fire. And by the bang bang fire, not the other one. So that is actually unusual high. I've done shows on how some of the worst cities in the country have these kind of bad numbers. That is pretty bad. But again, is this being used by some sort of agenda? We don't know. If you guys want to support us in a different way, Earthing has done a lot for me. If you don't know what Earthing is, you should actually see the video first. Again, that's at marfooglenews.com/GT. It's a full-length feature film that talks about this. Grounding is when your body is actually connected with Earth. At first, I thought it was frou-frou or whatever, same with dreams and things like this. But once you do it, you realize it's not. People have been doing this longer than I've been alive. It actually grounds you. You are electricity. Your heart is electricity. Your central nervous system is electricity. Your big brain up there is all electricity. So when you are actually barefoot on the ground, it makes a huge difference. And they have 25 medical studies that prove this. Again, this is actually a set of mats. There's all sorts of different things. You can get patches. I use the bed mat. It goes underneath my sheets. I plug it into the wall. I leave it. It's just there. I go to sleep. It feels cool. Other than that, it is absolutely amazing. It gets everything flowing. It decreases inflammation. It improves your sleep, your digestion, everything. So it's been a huge help for me. I don't think I would have recovered as fast if I didn't use this, especially with all the digestion stuff I've just had. marfooglenews.com/earthing. Again, I could have actually had, somebody just wrote a comment, said that they had 8 inches of their intestines removed. That's scary. Scared the crap out of me. Thank you. Not literally. I'm just going to keep going. marfooglenews.com/earthing. Kelly2334, thank you. I appreciate that. Sammy Lee, I had something extraordinary to say, says Sammy Lee 482. I guess I'll be waiting for the next one. Oh, literally pointless to spend money not to be heard. Okay. Sammy Lee 42, where did they go? I was too I was too. Marf, where did they go? I don't know. Oh, I think you're mad because it cut out. Yeah, they still show up there, so you don't have to worry about that. Just take some time. Talking about how D-Live cut out. I give up. Here's a diamond for the streaming gods, says Kihaja Flygirl. So I'm guessing it went out again. I don't think it's D-Live, though. I think it's Restream, to be honest. Sammy Lee, again, I go over all of that by the end of the show, and it all lists no matter what. But I do have to cover the news, unfortunately. The person